Yes, thank you so much. Let me introduce myself. My name is Heikens. I'm the UNICEF representative over here, and very pleased to be here with you today. In my talk, I will focus on explosive ordnance risk education, and that, of course, in relation to civil society, the media, and also other stakeholders. Following today's discussion, I don't think I need to explain to you anymore why explosive ordnance risk education is so incredibly important. So let me get straight to the point. UNICEF has been working globally on risk education, also known as EORE, for about 3 decades. And I'd like to bring to your attention 3 kind of common issues that we observe around the world and 9 broad recommendations. In terms of the common issues that we see, one critical issue is in many countries there are problems with the national injury surveillance systems. These tend to be weak or are absent even. Now, injury surveillance system, it's a public health tool to identify populations at risk, predict patterns and recognize risk factors. And indeed, many countries have weak systems, and that's a really problem. Data sets on the number of people killed or injured by explosive ordnances are not strong enough in many places. Too many reports do not specify the ages or the characteristics of the victims. And these data are really important for determining which areas and which groups need to be targeted as a priority for risk education. A second common issue we see around the world is the insufficient capacity for prioritizing risk education. There is a considerable lack of expertise in using scientific research of injury patterns to design and prioritize mine action, including risk education. And reaching the at-risk populations, civil society, includes the most vulnerable children. It requires programs to document the patterns of explosions and injuries in a timely and comprehensive manner. Most of the affected countries do not have developed evidence-based mechanisms to help them target their activities, including the risk education part. And the third common issue, mine action experts often remain insufficiently trained and lack experience designing and implementing effective behavior change strategies for risk education. If there is one thing difficult to do, it's changing people's behavior. And that's of course also where civil society organizations and the media can play an important role in helping to understand how we can do that in an effective manner. Now, based on our global experiences, there are these 9 recommendations that I alluded to. So let me mention all of them briefly. First of all, we need to strengthen the evidence base for our work through stronger injury surveillance systems, the establishment of transparent priority setting mechanisms, and to ensure the most vulnerable people are the first targeted. Second, we need to professionalize the sector through in-person and e-learning training and through the use of knowledge management systems. This is also an opportunity to make EORE more conflict sensitive and more ethical, and to ensure EORE is gender, age, disability, and diversity sensitive. The third one, EORE should be more and more digital. To improve coverage and effectiveness, it is crucial to invest, for example, in SMS campaigns, mobile apps, e-learning, social media, virtual reality, and other digital approaches. And there is a lot out there that can be mobilized for these types of actions. The fourth, community engagement really matters. Communities should be listened to and have a meaningful role to play. They have a meaningful role to play throughout the whole risk education program cycle. We have to reach the communities, we need to consult the communities, we need to involve the communities, we should collaborate with them, and ultimately, we should share leadership with the communities to take risk education forward. We're not talking about a few years of work. We talk about more than a decade of work in terms of risk education with the communities. My fifth recommendation, we need to improve the coverage and the cost effectiveness and the impact, and that can also be done by integrating risk education with other sectors beyond mine action and beyond education. An ERE program can be combined with, for example, a child protection activity or an immunization program. We should think outside of the box to have bigger outreach with risk education. Number 6, to maximize behavior change, risk education should reach the beneficiaries through multiple channels, multiple times, for a longer period of time. This will increase the likelihood that they will remember and adopt safe behaviors. The 7th recommendation is that risk education success should be measured in terms of behavior change, not in terms of people we have reached, for example, through social media. It's the behavior change that we need to measure. The 8th recommendation is the importance of coordination. Risk education should be well coordinated at national and local level. Messages should be harmonized, quality assurance should be provided, and duplication should be avoided. And this is particularly important considering the scaling up that needs to be done in the next couple of years. Finally, systematic monitoring and evaluation of risk education should take place. This is key to measuring progress and gaps and identifying best practice and lessons learned. Since 2021, UNICEF, together with ANAMA, the Ministry of Education, and various civil society organizations, is implementing risk education initiatives with funding from the EU and the UK. And to a large extent, the recommendations that I just referred to, I believe they are also relevant here in the context of Azerbaijan. And on my to-do list very soon is to discuss these recommendations with all the stakeholders involved here. And with the expected return of IDPs to increase strongly the coming years, the risks of mines and other explosive ordinances will increase, and scaling up and improving explosive ordnance risk education will thus be crucial. And UNICEF, of course, looks forward to continue to work with you on making this happen.